we go. We are live and in color. Hey, hey. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to YouTube. We're glad y'all are here. It's DIY with Jayne time. And we are still exploring paint inlays. So, we'll wait for a few of you to hop on here.
Yeah, I don't have you yet, so. Here we go.
Okay, yay. All right.
I can hear you good.
It's
now.
always scary when Anna says, I don't see you yet.
I don't see you yet.
And I immediately go in, well, I wonder what I did wrong. Hey, Carol. Welcome, Miss California. Eh? How are you today? Happy Friday afternoon. Glad you're here. Hello there, Miss McQueen. There's Colorado, great state of Colorado in the house. Welcome. Okay. Hey, Leapy. There's our buddy Leapy.
Hey. So I'm sharing right now. So.
Okay. Anna's busy sharing. We're gonna continue working on paint inlays today. I've got a couple of these things in process, and hopefully I'm gonna show you how this thing behaves. Hey, Marty Hardy.
Oh,
She's
Marty, I was just gonna share it to you. We love you. We're so glad you're here.
Oh, it's so good to see your name.
Yes, we've missed her, I told her.
Marty has been really sick, and so we're just so grateful that she feels well enough to
Thank you, Jesus.
be on our lives. So we're so glad. Hey, Miss Baker. New York in the house. So anyway, I'm going to put you down and we're going to get started. We're going to do a couple of different things with these paint inlays so y'all can kind of see the process, okay? Because there's just so many different things you can do with these. So today we're going to focus on using them and matching up the designs and then reusing them like that so y'all can kind of see all that, okay? So here we go. I'm going to put you down and we're off and running. Okay, so this is the indigo blue or blue indigo, however they say it. Is it indigo blue or blue indigo? Anyway, it's those two words. I'm not sure which one comes first. And I've painted my surface with a mixture of cake batter and skeleton key because I wanted my yellow to have a little bit, skeleton key is a gray, but it has a little bit of a blue, it shades blue. You know, it's got a blue base.
Hey, Dorothy. Hey, Maggie.
Hey, 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 everybody. Illinois in the house, Arizona in the house. We're so glad y'all are here. So I've gone ahead and painted my surface. And also, y'all, another thing I wanted to tell you is this is a board that I've had laying around here for months. Months and months. And it's one that I used the brick roller on from IOD. And so I had the brick roller on there for and I looked at that and I thought, now what am I going to do with these? So today's the day. So hopefully we're going to get a real distressed look here. This is probably going to be pretty vivid because I've had this paint inlay on this wet paint for a couple of hours. So let's just see what we get, okay?
Hey, Miss Ruby. Hey, Angela. Good afternoon, you guys.
Yes, glad you're here.
Something, if you absolutely can dry it and take it off sooner, but you're going to get a lighter color. So if you want to have darker, you know, if you want the design to be darker, leave it on overnight even.
That's right. You can leave this thing on. You can leave this thing on as long as you want to. The longer you leave it, the darker the impression. So I know I love cake batter too.
Hey,
It's
Ruby.
one of my
Hey,
favorite
Angela.
colors. So I'm just going to spritz this lightly with my little mister.
Yes, and you have to remember that, you guys. Don't try to start pulling them off without misting them because they will rip and they will be ruined.
Yes, so
you
you
have to
always
mist
want to
it.
wet them.
This is
Okay.
if you just jumped on, she had painted the board and you put the inlays in wet paint and you smooth them out and you leave them for at least a couple hours, but if you want to do it overnight, you can.
Yeah, or you can leave them shorter. It just depends on how
what you want.
brilliant of an impression you want with this paint. This is an artisanal paint specifically designed by the IOD sisters for this very purpose. Okay, so now we're just gonna start pulling this back.
We can see the whole board. And you guys, we think we got our new view. So
We think we have, yeah.
we got you guys straight over, no bending, no craziness.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be a great view for you. So we're just gonna start to pull this back.
We love you, Miss Maggie.
We
yes,
do love
this is
you.
a very cool new product. It's very cool. And we are all just learning about it with you guys. So look at that.
We are.
Holy moly, that's beautiful.
Wow, that's pretty. I was thinking it might be a little too bright. I don't think it's going to be too bright at all. I think I'm going to love it.
It's gorgeous. It's very French. That's very French country.
It very is.
Very French.
It very.
Oui.
Oui.
Look at that.
Mademoiselle.
Look at that on cake batter. And you guys could do it on the sunshine. I mean, you could do it on anything, but that yellow is gorgeous.
That yellow is gorgeous, and that is yellow with a little bit of skeleton key. Woo. And so now I've taken this wet inlay, and this is the wet side up. So this is the part that was down on the paint. So I've peeled it back and laid it with this side, with the wet side up. Okay.
You want the paint side up.
The paint side up to dry, right?
Yeah, Dorothy says if you leave it on 24 hours, does that mean you may not get an additional usage? No.
No, you'll still get usage.
2 to 3.
Absolutely.
The third one will definitely be, you know, a lighter, more distressed.
Yes.
But we haven't seen anybody that used it 4 times yet, but definitely 3 times.
So we're gonna go ahead and pull this one off.
Isn't it gorgeous?
It's lovely.
And I've seen a lot of people asking, well, why is that better than a transfer, or why is it different? It's because this is not going to peel. It's true paint. So
it literally, when you put this inlay down on your wet paint, the paint on this inlay literally lays into, hence inlays into your paint and becomes a part of the design. It's not on top of it. It's not stenciled on top of it. It literally soaks into.
If you painted it on there.
Yes, it is. It literally soaks into your paint, so it becomes part of your design. It's not lying on top of it.
Dorothy wants to know, could you use a gesso or soft medium that dries clear rather than paint? Yes, you can do a top coat, yes.
You could, absolutely.
We haven't done it yet, but we are going to.
Yeah, we haven't done it yet, but we're going to.
Ruby says, awesome. Hey, Miss Terry. We haven't seen you in a while, Miss Terry Hirschman.
Hey, California.
Great to see you, lady.
So this is, and we're all, you know, over here going, oui, mademoiselle, and all this. This also has a real boho vibe to it, y'all.
That one
you
does.
think, yeah, this one does.
Yeah,
and you think about doing some different colors. I mean, with a yellow, it definitely goes French country or French cottage or however. But with the right colors, you really could get a super cool boho vibe going on with this.
Summer Crush would be very boho with the.
It would. Yes, Summer Crush would be. Okay,
now
so.
He says the texture is great, very cool combination. Your camera placement is super duper. Yay!
Thank
We've been
you.
working on it. Thank
So
you.
see, this
Flower.
is where I had rolled my brick texture roller on here, and once this dries, I'm going to distress it, and we're going to see what happens. But that'll have to be on another day. So meanwhile, let me put
Ruby
this
said,
down.
did you prime your surface before or after your paint? You just painted right on.
I painted a coat on my board, and I let it dry. I painted a coat of my yellow with a little bit of skeleton key on my board and let it dry. And then I came back with my wet coat of paint and painted it on, and you paint it on generously. Okay, it was cake batter, yes, with just a touch of skeleton key in it, Dorothy. Then while your paint is wet, you apply your inlay. But hold on, because we're going to do that right now. I'm going to show you something.
Yeah, we're going to show you a couple things. And with that wet right there, you guys can take a paintbrush and you could definitely just...
We got a lot of stuff we're going to do here today if we have enough time to get it all done, hopefully. This will be a really...
yes, it'll definitely reuse at least 2 to 3 times.
Yeah, we're fixing to reuse it right now.
Terry says, I'm glad you're on YouTube. Yes, Terry.
Thank you.
Facebook has been horrible. Just
Facebook has not been nice to us, so we
yeah.
just gave up the ghost.
Yesterday, I couldn't even get Jane, and everybody's telling me she's on. I'm like, no, she's not. I'm like, yes, she actually was, but I couldn't see her. Yes.
So this is
hey,
just...
Danny.
Hey, Danny. Danny Batters?
Yeah.
This is...
No, Danny Lundy.
Oh, hey. Hey. Welcome.
And Angela says that's gorgeous. Hey, V. She said, hey, ladies, it's
Hey.
amazing. I'm not sure who that is because it's a YouTube name, but it's V. Arn.
Okay.
Hey, Mary Casey.
Hey, Mary Casey. Okay, so this is Skeleton Key that we're using, y'all. I need to touch more
And
paint.
you guys, make sure you share us and like our page because we only have 245 followers on here. And the only reason why we're allowed to go live, because you have to have 1,000, is because we have Switcher. But at any time, if they change that, then we won't be able to go live anymore.
Yeah,
So
so
help
if
us
y'all
grow.
could share us, we would be most grateful. All right, so
And what color is that? I'm
this
sorry,
is
I was
Skeleton
talking.
Key.
Okay.
No, that's fine.
I
this
didn't know
is-
Skeleton Key was so green. It's got a lot of green in it. Huh?
This has a little, well, I've been painting with my brush that had the cake batter on it.
Oh, so
so,
it changed the color.
Yeah,
a little bit.
but it really shades more of a blue than a
Terry
green.
says the inlays are beautiful. They really
They
are
are beautiful.
Oh, it's Valerie. Okay.
Oh, okay. Is this our buddy Jay
It's
in Burlington?
V
Yeah.
is Valerie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Valerie. I always say Valerie, but I always want to say Valeria because it's IA. But I know I probably butcher her name.
She's okay. She won't care. All right, so we want this to be pretty wet. You know, we're trying to get a...
So you don't want a super thin coat, but you don't want a super thick coat.
That's
so you
right.
just kind of got to go, in the middle.
That's right.
And if you guys want it to be like scrunched up, you can put it up. You can put it on that way, scrunchy. And
Absolutely. Yeah. There's no right or wrong. All right. So now this is the one I just pulled off, y'all. We're going to put it back on here, okay? Let's see.
you don't really want to move it after you get it.
You don't
on.
really want to move it, although I moved it just a little bit. And down here where I don't really have enough of, I can probably just paint that in with Hay Sailor or Blue Iris probably would be the perfect color. I can just add enough in there so that you can't tell that, okay? So now I'm going to add a little water. That just doesn't seem to be real wet to me. And I'm going to show you how I line these up now. And I'm going to show you a better way. This was my first run with lining these designs up. And so I folded back the little margin here. On the one we do next, we're not going to do that. We're going to trim it. But in the meantime, so with that folded back, now you just come in with your paper and line it up with your design, okay? Like so. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but the little grid lines do help you line it up. All right. And then, when you get your design down and in place, you take a damp rag and press your design down onto your surface, okay? And you'll see, see right in this area here, watch. See how that presses it onto the surface and it doesn't look as dry? You see how this looks dry in this area? Okay, so now we have this on here. We're not going to leave this quite as long so that I can give y'all an idea of how it looks if you don't leave it on quite as long, see? But we're going to need to leave it a little longer
I think
than
you
this.
say Valeria. That's how I think it's correct. So she needs to correct me if I'm wrong. Valeria, she's from Virginia.
Oh, okay.
Dorothy says, just playing, trying to figure out how to share. Oh no, she put these little cats jumping out of boxes.
Oh, that's awesome.
We don't
That's
know,
fun.
We don't know what we're doing either on here. We're all learning.
Yeah,
Hey,
we're all just,
hey,
it's all
Evelyn,
just
she
a whole
said
lot of
howdy.
fun.
Mary Harris said hello.
Hey, hey.
Terry said shared to Facebook. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. We appreciate it because
That's awesome.
we're
Thank
trying
you
to
so
grow
much.
this over here. It's so much better here than all that craziness
yes.
in and out.
So we're going to lay this down over here and let this one rest for a little bit, and then we'll pull this design back up in a little. Now we're going to work on this one.
Oh yeah, she said I'm right. Woohoo! Woohoo!
Yay!
I'm so excited.
Yay, Anna.
I hate mispronouncing people's names, so I try really hard not to.
Okay, so now this is...
Oh, that's going to be so pretty.
Yeah, this is an old cork board that Anna brought to me. No telling how long ago. And I've just kind of been looking. It's kind of like the one I did with the with that brick roller. I did it, and then I looked at it, and I thought, what am I ever going to do with you? And so today's the day.
Ruby said, thank you for explaining what the difference is between stenciling and the inlays. Oh yeah, no problem.
Absolutely. That's why we're
Any
here.
questions? That's why we're here,
That
because
is
we
absolutely
are
why
all
we're here.
learning ourselves.
Yes, we are.
We just got our hands on these right, the day before they came out.
Whatever.
That was it.
Yeah, Monday or Tuesday,
we
whatever
haven't
day.
had them for a long time
Yeah.
to play with them.
We have not. Okay, so
Oh
here's...
yeah, I know. Where is Claire? She's normally here. Hopefully she's
I don't
good.
know.
She might have an appointment.
She might. Okay, so these are the...
That's very
the-
cottage.
Yes, very cottage. That's what I was just getting ready to say. This is the cottage rose, but it's actually rose chintz, isn't it? Or something like
Yeah, don't ask me to pronounce that word.
Rose chintz. Yes,
it's
rose
kind of like
chintz.
toile to me.
Yeah. So I want to show y'all how to line these up. The rose seems to me to be a little bit easier to line up than the blue indigo, but and I've already worked my way through. So what you need to do is you just kind of get your pages out and start laying them out, okay? On the back of your
I really don't think you would ever tell the difference if you didn't line it up anyway. Do you?
probably not this, but they definitely are connectable.
Right.
But
I wouldn't
yeah,
make
I don't.
myself crazy. Over
Yeah,
that.
I wouldn't make myself crazy either. But as you can see, the pattern does repeat. These are the 8 panels, and it shows you on the back if you are of a mind to line them up exactly how they line up. And this pattern appears to me that it's repeatable. So, if you had a larger space than the 8 panels, you could get 2 of these packs and they would continue to repeat for you, okay? So, in other words, these edges here would line up over here.
Flower says she loves
Okay.
the chintz ones.
It is very pretty.
What does chintz mean? Is it a pattern? They were just curious.
It's a pattern, and I think it's also like it's a type of material, I think, isn't it, y'all?
Yeah, you let us
All
know.
right. So
Good,
here's
Evelyn, that's good.
here's-
Oh, Claire's on her way. Okay.
here's the thing that I didn't do on the blue indigo. If you're going to match your pattern, you should trim this little margin. That makes it easier to match. Okay? So that was my first aha.
But even the way you just had it when you first came on the air with just that piece in the center, it looked really pretty. Look at that. Actually, that looked pretty. Like you could do it like that.
Oh, you could. Yeah, you absolutely
and
could.
have a frame around it. I mean, you guys can do so many things with it. We're just starting to figure it
Right.
all out. So.
And this is just, to show you how to line them up. This, again, is another one that's very cut apartable. You can cut it apart and just use pieces of it. You don't have to use it in its entirety. You don't even have to use a full panel. So they're just so versatile.
No, we don't, Dorothy, and no, absolutely not. No holiday inlays, absolutely no. The only thing we have coming for the holidays when we get it is 1 stamp, 1 transfer, those are both holiday, and then a mold that is not holiday. That's
That
what's
is correct.
coming. hopefully before the end of the year.
Yeah.
Mary says material she believes. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It was a type of fabric, kind of like a gross grain ribbon. That's a type of ribbon.
That looks stunning with that green, though, that color right there.
It does.
But you could do that over red. That would be gorgeous on
It
red.
would.
You could do it. You know what would really be pretty? Petticoat pink, real light. Wouldn't
Petticoat
that
pink would be
crazy?
beautiful. Yes,
Yeah, that would be
absolutely.
gorgeous.
So there are grid lines that you can use, but I'm really just kind of...
Ruby says she had a bedspread and curtains in this design, and Linda Baker, she said she had a China pattern with this design. It's very pretty.
Yes, it is. So now you can see how it begins to come together. Can you see that? See how it lines up so perfectly? And what I'll do when I lay this down in the paint is I'll overlap it just a tiny tad. Just a wee little bit. Okay? Now, the one other thing that I want to talk to you about, so we need to cut off one more side over here so we get I am going to cut this on the grid just to see if I can keep the edge a little straighter.
Cowgirl coral is pretty too. Absolutely, it would look very pretty with that.
It would.
Oh, hey, Miss Claire. We were wondering where you were. She did paint right over the cork, Ruby. She just...
I did.
I mean, DIY paint can... We haven't found anything you can't paint over. We just slap it
haven't.
on. So, yes, it was a really... It was such a nice size cork board. I couldn't resist it. And this is real wood on this. It's a wood frame.
Yes,
so that's why I bought it. I knew she wouldn't use it as a cork board. Hey, beautiful. How are you? Thanks for finding us over here.
All right, so we've got this and we've got this. Okay.
It says chintz originally comes from Indian wood ink blocks for fabric and became very popular in Europe in the 16th century onwards. Yeah, it looks like wallpaper that I saw when I visited was it the Vanderbilt Mansion out there?
Probably.
Yeah, it looks
the Biltmore?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks just like that in Newport when I went to Newport. So that is, it's very, very, it looks like cottage roses to me. I don't really know.
It does. That's exactly what it reminds me of.
So again, you guys, she's taking the time to just cut it really, so she's
Just to
showing
show
you
you.
how to put it together, but you sure don't have to. You can wing it if you're only going to use one sheet.
Okay, so we've got this sheet, we've got this sheet. There is a method to my madness here.
And she does have something under that paint, but I'm not allowed to tell you.
Oh, you can tell them if you want to. I don't care. You can tell them.
She decoupaged
Anna's probably dying to
a
tell you.
paper under there that I really like, and we hadn't used. It's pretty cool, and so she's going to be distressing all this back. So we think it'll be. We're hoping it's going to be super cool.
We're
out.
hoping this is going to wind up looking like an old plaster wall. That's our
Not
our desired
today,
outcome.
Unfortunately, it has
we
to dry,
can't.
but you guys will see it next week.
Yeah. So let's see. Now I want to cut this so that it's kind of close to fits. Kind of close.
Isn't this so much better than that in and out? Yesterday I was crazy. Just kept saying, video interrupted, video interrupted.
Right,
you guys must have thought I was losing my mind on the video. I kept saying, no, she's not on. They were like, we're watching her right now. She's not there. It would not work on the phone. It would only work on the computer, which is really weird.
It was just crazy.
Oh, can you not share during the live? You can. You know what? You actually, I shared during the live, but I had to go to where, I don't know how to explain it right. If you just go right out of the live and you go on our page where it shows all the videos, you can share on the right hand side. There's 3 little dots. That's how I did it. But no, I don't think you can share right from this exact screen. No. Unless
Okay.
somebody knows how to do it.
Now we've got our pieces cut. Here's what you have to think about. Now we're cutting this with the design looking at us, right? But when you go to lay this down, you're going to have to lay it down backwards. You see what I mean? You're going to have to flip these, because if you just turn them over in place, they're not going to line up. Okay?
Oh gosh, that's something to really remember.
So you need to remember that when you lay these down.
Terry says she's been trying to learn to quilt this year. That's cool. I love quilts. They
I love
hang in my
quilts,
house,
too.
but I buy them.
So now to get it straight, and these papers, not unlike decoupage papers, they don't really stretch. You know how when you wet paper, a decoupage paper, it has a tendency to stretch? These don't really do that, okay? So as you measure this off, you can clip this side, this bottom side here.
Yeah, and
as
all
well.
she's doing right now is measuring, because she has to put paint down before
Right.
she gets it going.
I'm just trying to show you the whole process, so bear with me here.
Yeah, we just want to work you through it, because this is
Such a new product.
and everybody's asking, and they don't, they think they're like transfers, but transfers you would never put on wet paint.
No.
These only work on wet paint or a wet top coat or something.
Yeah, you talk about a hot mess if you put a transfer down on wet paint.
Mess, big mess.
Big mess. Great big mess. So there's that one.
Oh, Marty, thank you so much. She shared to Facebook. She
Aw.
doesn't know what she's doing.
That's
all right,
okay,
Marty.
neither do we.
Yeah, you might put us in a new group and get us a bunch of new viewers.
Yeah. So that's great.
We don't really know either. We're just learning over here. Oh, I was right. Terry says to share, you have to get out of the chat, and then underneath the video it says share. Okay, yeah, I thought so. I can share from here just by clicking the share. I'm on a laptop. Yeah, it's different on a laptop, Linda. That's for sure. It looks completely different. But we appreciate you guys schooling us. 'cause
We do.
Need it. We need help.
We are rookies. So just like with your transfers and with your decoupage paper, save these scraps because they're very usable. Okay, so don't throw them away.
Oh
Hang
yeah,
on to 'em.
absolutely.
I've created a whole nother box just for my my paint inlay scraps.
Maggie says your tips are so helpful, Jane and Anna. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Maggie.
We appreciate it.
So
Yeah,
this
these
is
are
my
cool.
paint I had left over from last night while I was prepping this, and I just laid a piece of saran wrap in there, and so my paint is still here ready to go. Just another marvelous
way
feature.
to not waste paint.
way to not waste paint. And
Yeah, that's what I had to do, Terry. I had to get out of the chat. I didn't know that's what that's called. Now I learned that when you're live.
we got to get our
chat.
YouTube lingo going, Anna.
Awesome, Dorothy. Thank you. She shared too. She learned something
Awesome.
new. We're all learning together.
Well,
Yeah,
I love
we're
that.
On live chat, Jane. That's what we're doing.
Woohoo.
We're on live chat on
All right.
YouTube.
I'm hip. All right, so let's get this layer of paint down so we can put our put this in here so y'all can see this process at work with how you layer this up. And
you might be able to hear the chimes. We have some more. We have had an incredibly gorgeous fall.
we
We
have
cannot complain for 1 second. It's
No, we
been
cannot.
absolutely beautiful. Another gorgeous day. We're still trying to figure out if we're going to get a crazy winter or a mild winter.
we have no idea.
We don't know. We're just going to wait and see.
All right, so we're gonna kind of lay this down as we go, okay? So let's make sure that this is gonna line up before we start, and it is perfect. So we're gonna lay this down in our paint.
And we said it before, you don't want the paint super thick and you don't want it, super thin. Just
But you
regular
want it
coat.
wet.
You want it wet. If it's dry, then you got to paint it again.
That's right. And so take your damp cloth and kind of press this one into the wet paint as you go. You don't have to get it perfect right now, but gets a little bit of an adhesion going, okay?
Jeanette says, hi ladies, I had to change browsers to get logged in and subscribed. Well, thank you for doing
Awesome.
that.
Thank you for going to the trouble.
We
are
appreciate
very
it.
grateful.
Mary
Yes,
says,
thank you.
I noticed that when you pull up the paper, some of the background paint transfers onto the paper. If you use it a second time, will the background color transfer over too? It probably will.
Yes.
But you might. Can you wipe that off?
I don't think so. Not really. Not without you'll activate your design and smear it.
Oh, that's
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, I saw some yellow pull up when she did that. What size is one sheet? There's 16 by
12 by 16, I believe.
Yeah, and there's 8 of them.
8 of them.
I'll look.
I think the part that has that is going to be underneath, where I keep my things like that. I'm pretty sure they're 12 by 16.
And don't forget, you guys, they have papers in between the layers, and you want to keep those.
You absolutely do.
They're 12 by 16. Yes, they are. And there is 8 of them, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, 8. And they do line up. But they definitely have papers in between them in the transfer book. And you want to leave those just like that.
Yes, you do.
So you don't mess them up.
So you keep them protected until you're ready to use them. And there is a little bit of grace with these. As you can see, I am lifting it a little. But you can't do that much,
She makes me shake when she does it. Don't lift it. Don't lift it.
So I'm just...
They remind me of, and everybody's going to say, oh, but it does. It reminds me of I know they still have them, but the fake tattoos that you used to put on your hand. Do you remember it was like a wax kind of like paper? And you had to wet it, and you had to kind of smooth it, and then you took it off. Obviously, it's going on your skin, not paint, but it's the same thing. It was ink transferring from the paper onto your skin. You guys remember those tattoos, those fake tattoos? They still make them now. But that's what
I remember them.
It reminds me of them. We used to put them on our hands as kids, You used to go to like the fair or whatever. They would give you them.
I'm gonna mix. This is a mixture. This mixture that I'm using is a mixture of Fancy Farm Girl and Tarnished Pearl. I wanted it to be a little bit more of a softer vintage green than Fancy Farm Girl. That was a little too dark for me.
Yeah, it would have been too dark, I think.
And so I'm just mixing up a little bit more now. And it may not be the exact same color, but
And this is basically,
we don't care.
We're doing, and correct me if I'm wrong, if I misspeak. I believe we're actually just doing the same thing when people do transfers when they print them on the LaserJet printers, and that's pretty much just kind of like what we're doing. We're embedding it into the paint, right? Just don't have to scrub it off.
Yes, generally it's the same process. This is not quite as any of y'all that have ever done those kinds of transfers. It's a bit of a mess,
and it's
as
hard work.
Yeah.
This is not. They come off very easy. You still want to go slow.
Right.
And don't forget, you have to re-wet them before you pull them up, because you will rip them.
That's right.
You got real ones now, LOL. Yeah, that's good.
So now we just want to get the rest of our paint in here.
It is pretty. Maggie says those two together is pretty. I don't think we've ever mixed those two before, did we?
No. I was just looking for a soft green
color. It is very pretty.
I was, trying to get a green really close to the green in that paint inlay. So
getaway. They were my getaway tattoos, Terry said. We all need one of them. I don't have any though. I think I've been a wimp. I never got one.
I never got one.
I've always wanted to do it.
I'm afraid of needles.
I'm not afraid
I don't
of
even
needles,
like to
but-
take shots. There was no way I was going to go willingly let somebody stick a needle in me.
Yes, Dorothy, I did a post this morning. Jane will be live on Monday with the papers.
Yes, I will.
It's either gonna be late, afternoon, later afternoon, or early evening, just depending on.
Going to Atlanta to get them.
She's going to get them, and she will be showing them on Monday. So the minute she starts showing them, everything will be live.
Yes, I'm just going to kind of spritz this. So you can take a damp cloth, y'all, or you can spritz it. Okay?
Claire says
but
so very pretty.
you just have to get your surface wet, and you need to get the inlay pressed into the wet paint. So you can definitely spritz it. Make sure it's down in your corners really good.
Yeah, we can't wait to see him, Dorothy. I can't wait to see him. When she comes back Monday, I'll see him. They're gorgeous.
They are pretty.
Jane saw some in person, but I didn't.
They're pretty. Well, they're in fine DQ fashion, you know.
Yeah, typical classy fashion.
They're just
Dorothy says, I
beautiful
check with
papers.
my online shop every day just in case they've arrived here, although I'm sure she'd let me know. Yeah, I know. You guys are just in a whole different, you're in a whole different world for real. We don't know when you're going to get your stuff. Oh, do they
Okay.
know me now when you get a tattoo? Probably. I guess probably some places do.
So now we're going to leave this and let it dry. And again, it just depends on how vivid of an image you want, how long you leave this in your wet surface. Okay, so let's put this one down.
And even, how about this? Even
Let's
if
go
you're
back to
not
the gray one.
live, why don't we film you lifting that up even if you're not live?
Okay, absolutely. We can do that.
That way
Yes.
you can see it. Because we're not going to leave that on until next week. So.
No. So this is the one we just laid down, y'all.
Bravery not needed. Yeah, Terry, you still have to walk in the place. You still need to be brave to get one. Even if they numb you, they're still numbing you with needles. Jane wouldn't even like the numbing needles.
I'm telling you, I am such a chicken when it comes to that.
I know, it doesn't bother me at all. Thank God. And obviously, if you left it longer, it would have been darker.
Now, here's going to answer your question. You see the yellow paint transferring some? The yellow paint that was originally on this one. Let's do this one first.
But remember, you guys, you can use this with top coat. So if you don't want color to transfer, you can do it that way. We haven't done it yet, but we understand that you can. The sisters said that you could.
Yeah, I'm going to lay this back down just for a second. I'm going to pull it up, but I would like for it to transfer.
Claire said they'd have to put her under to get her tattoo.
They'd have to put me under. I'm telling you what, they
Linda
would.
says, I didn't get no numbing with mine. Yeah, I don't think everybody numbs, but maybe it's something they do if you're going to freak out. Maggie says, I appreciate that these are reusable to a point. Yeah, they are.
Oh, they are.
They're
very reusable up to 3 times. This one I didn't leave on very long, so as you can see, you're not getting a very even impression.
If that's what you're looking for.
But yeah,
I actually think it's beautiful that way.
They're just very versatile.
I mean, look at that for a background, and then you could stencil over that. Wouldn't that be gorgeous to put words on that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you got to raise that up. I want them
I
to
will.
see that better. They can see it, but I can't see it yet. I'm so behind.
And so you can see where the yellow paint
It's actually beautiful.
transferred onto that surface a little bit. So that answers your question
No,
about...
Flower. It has to go in paint or a top coat. You can't... It won't work with just water. It doesn't work that way. Dorothy said... Oh, yeah, that's right. She said that. Yes, that's correct. We will be on Monday.
Okay.
With the papers.
So there you go. You can see that the yellow paint transferred. You can see that it transferred very unevenly. Honestly, the paint probably wasn't as wet as it should have been for this. But that's the beauty of these transfers. If you just want a faint impression, I mean, these inlays, if you just want a faint impression,
I think that's gorgeous. Myself.
you know, then this is what makes these things so innovative. You can do so many different things with them. They can be bold, they can be subtle, they can be anything in between. They can be strong in some areas and softer in other areas, depending on how you put your paint on. So if you put your paint on really wet and thick in one area and a little bit lighter, and so that it dries a little faster in another, you're going to get a bolder impression in the wetter area and a lighter impression in the drier area.
Maggie says she likes that hint of color too. Me too. I love that.
Well, this is just exactly like you said, Anna. This is perfect for a background.
Gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
You know, just to give you just need a little interest.
Jade says that's crazy cool. Claire gave you a heart. Angela says so unique. Looks like a globe. It does, Ruby.
Yeah. So, okay. So there you go. There's how to line them up.
Your T-shirt too.
Oh yeah, I got this T-shirt. Well, Anna got me this T-shirt.
I mean, I saw you guys. Is that not Jane? I could not bring it home.
It's got all kind of little peace signs all over it, and it says, "I can't love, peace, and mountains."
Yeah, it was. I got it in Tellico Plains, Tennessee.
Love, peace, and mountains, and it's got peace signs, and it's just
It's
and mountains
just Jane,
and hearts,
for sure.
and looks kind of like Lucky Charms cereal.
I know it does.
Pink hearts.
And then you could also take a brush and just, move that. This is paint, so if you re-wet it, you can move it around. If
You
want
can.
to.
Yeah. Here. Well, I can do. Watch. We can do this.
Yeah, just kind of show them if they want. But I love that for a background. It reminds me of the technique the sisters did on the flower pot a while back.
Yeah,
flow blue. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you take a wet cloth, you can actually start to move this paint around.
Yeah, and if you took a brush, you could just, make it more watercolory like. It's just completely.
See how I
paint.
can soften the yellow, soften the blue. You can kind of give it that.
Linda, you do not have to let the paper dry between uses. That was absolutely the same question I had to Jane.
No, this paper actually was the blue that I pulled off of the first project that we did.
Yeah.
And then I applied it right immediately over this. So no, you do not have to let them dry in between. You can, but you don't have to.
And I want you to show them the one you did earlier, because
the yellow and blue one. Okay, let's just get that one up. So see how I know you can see, because I can see. See how I've moved that blue around, and it's kind of made it kind of smudgy. So this paint, until you seal it, is going to be reactive. So even if it dries and you want to come back and reactivate your paint inlay, you can. Until you seal it, it's very manipulatable. Okay?
And like we said, the way it does pull off some of that paint, if you use it on clear, then you won't have to worry about that.
Right. And then here was our very first project that we did.
Claire says, "Lucky lady, Anna spoils you with T-shirts." Well,
Anna does a lot for me.
I could not leave that behind. I thought, oh my gosh, that's so Jane. You never see a T-shirt that's perfect. That was perfect.
That one it is perfect. So here was our first project. We did this over the brick roller, and after this is thoroughly dry, I will heavily distress this, and it should bring a lot of the detail that's underneath here. There's a lot of texture on this board.
Yes, you can blend out the design. Yes, you can.
You can blend out the design. Absolutely. Yes, just like on a flow blue pot. Okay? So there you go. There's
So we'll be live on Monday.
Live on Monday.
When Jane gives me a heads up, I'll let you guys know, but it'll definitely be more like late afternoon.
Yeah, it'll definitely be late afternoon, early evening. But we will definitely be here on Monday to show you all the brand new papers. And thanks for coming over here with us today, y'all. It's a transition for everybody, including us. And we're just grateful for you.
Yeah,
Thank you for following us.
Help.
We are, until Facebook gets its act together, it's just, it's just not a pleasant viewing experience for anyone. And so I think we're just going to camp out here until they decide if they're going to fix it or if they're not. And I hope y'all will come with us and invite your friends to come along, okay? Peace. I hope y'all have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you Monday afternoon. And Anna, as soon as we figure out exactly what time, we'll post it for you, okay? Thank you so much. We